Hi everyone, welcome to this short power yoga flow. We're going to start by getting into the wrists. If you just turn the fingertips to point towards your knees, you can have the hands close or further away depending on how tight your wrists feel, and obviously if they're closer it's going to feel a bit easier. All I want you to do is rock around, so move back and forth, side to side, up and down, and as you're moving, grip down with your fingertips. Whilst it's nice and easy and low skill right now, focus on your breath, taking gentle inhales through the nose and gentle exhales. It's going to help us use our diaphragm as we breathe, and it's going to really help support our spine as we move and build some heat. Once you've done your wrist extension here, just go onto the backs of your hands and rock back and forth. You can put as much or as little load into your wrists in this position as you like. Just keep your arms straight. And just shake the hands out a little bit. Make some circles. A few circles one way, a few circles the other way. And come onto all fours. We'll start with hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Tuck the tailbone, curl up through your spine into cat, tucking the chin. Really wrap those shoulder blades across your back. Tilt your pelvis forward, starting to extend the spine, working your way up, opening the chest and lifting the eyes. Just a couple more in your own time. Tuck the tailbone, curl your way up. Tilt your pelvis forwards. Open the chest, draw the shoulder blades down into the back. Tuck the tailbone, rounding up, protract the shoulder blades. Draw the navel in, tuck the tailbone. And come back to neutral. We'll go into downward dog from here. So just have your hands shoulder width, feet hip width, send your bum back, lift your hips. Take your chest through the shoulders and you can just pedal through the feet. You don't have to have straight legs. You don't have to get your heels down. Let's just try and get these shoulders nice and open. Feel the shoulder blades elevate, press into the floor. Have a few breaths in your downward dog. Draw the lower ribs in. Wiggle about as much as you like, make any shapes your body feels it needs. And from here, lift your eyes, walk your feet in towards your hands. Come up halfway at the top of the mat. You can keep the knees bent as much as you need to when we're here. Taking a breath in, on your exhale, push the air out and fold over the legs. Again, legs can be bent, we can hold the elbows and just ragdoll. Curl your way up, standing all the way up into a mountain pose. And from here, we'll open the arms up nice and wide, reaching up to the top. Growing nice and tall, draw the ribs down, gently squeeze your bum and fold on your way down. Soften the legs if you need to. Lift your eyes, bring your hands to the ground, step into plank, tuck the tailbone, round out through the shoulders just like we did in cat. From there you can lower your knees, let the shoulders lead, bend the elbows and come all the way down. Traveling through into an upward dog. Upward dog, you can do on your forearms if this feels too much. Try to keep your shoulders above your wrists, not too far in front. Lengthen your spine. Now let's lift the hips and go back to downward dog. Lift your eyes, walk your feet in or step the feet in or jump the feet in. Come up halfway and inhale. Exhale, fold. Curling up, open the arms wide, reach up nice and tall. Nice energizing breath in. Exhale, fold, push the air out of the lungs. Lift your eyes, bring your hands to the mat, step the left leg back, raise your arms up. We're coming into a deep lunge position. We're going to bend the back knee, tuck the tailbone, keep the front knee above the ankle, and then engaging your glutes really hard. See if you can start to extend that back leg, but without tilting the pelvis forwards. Feel that deep stretch into the hip flexors. Dive your hands forwards. Come to plank, lower down, maybe from a full plank into a low plank this time. Come through to upward dog, lift your hips, downward dog. Breathe. Lift your eyes, step your left foot forward, raise the arms up, tucking the tailbone, squeezing the glutes and then maybe extending that back leg a little. Dive the hands down, back to plank, and again, lowering down, coming through to upward dog, lift back, downward dog. This time you can jump in if you're feeling ready to. We're going to bend the legs, press through the hands and hop lightly. Try not to make too much noise as you land at the top. We'll come up halfway. Fold as you exhale. Soften the knees, curl up, reach up, grow tall. Folding back down again. Lift the eyes, step the left leg back into that high lunge. Maybe opening up those hips a bit more now, but keep that back knee bent if you need to. Engage the glutes. Dive the hands forwards. Back to plank. You can lower your knees from here. Lower down. Travel through to upward dog. Lifting back to downward dog. Lift your eyes, step your left foot forward. Same lunge on the other side, reaching up. Keep breathing. Diving forward, step to plank and lower. Come through to upward dog. Lift back downward dog. Lift your eyes, step or jump in. Come up halfway, take a breath. And fold. Curl up once more through, reaching tall. Folding back down. Lift the eyes, step the left leg back into a high lunge. Tucking the bum under. Engage the glutes. Imagine you're pressing this back hip open. Pull the front heel towards you. You'll feel even more tension in the legs. And dive forwards, back to plank. Lower down to low plank. Come through to upward dog and back to downward dog. Lift your eyes, step your left foot forward. Raise the arms, tuck the bum under. Breathe and extend that back leg. Pressing that back hip open, engaging the glutes. Dive the hands down, back to plank and lower. Through to upward dog and downward dog. Just have a moment to breathe. From here, bring your thumbs to touch. Lift the eyes, step or jump the feet outside the hands. Coming into a deep squat. Don't worry if your heels are lifted. If you can draw them down, draw them down. And just work into the ankles a little bit. Roll around, make some circles. Move back and forth, side to side. You can challenge the position of your feet, trying to bring them in narrower. Maybe even see if you can sit down and get back up again. And what we're going to do from here, as I said before, heels can be up. We're going to place the hands down shoulder width at the top of the mat. Lift the hips high and come into a crow balance. So index fingers point forwards, spread the fingertips, lift the hips. We'll collect the legs into the backs of the arms. The higher the better, but if it needs to be just on top of the elbows, that's fine. Collect the knees, tip into the fingertips, rounding out through the upper back, just like you did with that shoulder protraction in our cat. And then see if you can pull your feet up tightly to your bum. You can hold it, you can go in and out of it. Don't worry if you can't hold it for too long just yet. If you're comfortable holding your crow balance, we're going to have a go at jumping out of it, but just make sure that when you jump out of it, you land in a low plank position. So we come into it, take a breath in. When you're ready, jump the legs back. Land low, push high, back to downward dog. And if that's too much, just step back. Bring the thumbs to touch, lift the eyes, step or jump. Sit in your squat. And then from here, bring the hands shoulder width onto the ground, index fingers forward. Lift the hips, find that crow balance. Pull the feet towards the bum. Keep pushing as hard as you can into the floor so that we don't sink down into it here. Maybe you can come into a low crow in this position. Try and push up into a high crow. And then from there, take a breath. Step or jump. And back to downward dog. Bring your thumbs to touch. Lift the eyes, step or jump in. Back into your squat. And we'll do that again. Hands come down. Lift your hips. Collect the legs. Tip into the fingers. Pull the feet up. Wrapping those shoulders, pushing down hard. Take a breath. Jump. And back to downward dog. Have a moment to breathe. When you're ready, lift the eyes, step or jump. Come up halfway. Fold on your exhale. Curling up. Have a moment to rest in your mountain pose. And we're going to add a crow balance in to our flow now. So very similar. And if it feels too much to jump back, just step back. Standing tall, arms open, palms open. We'll take a breath in and reach up. Fold back down. Place the hands on the ground, collect the legs into crow. Breathing into it. Don't worry if your toes are still on the floor. Keep actively pushing down. From here, take a breath and jump. Push high, back to downward dog. From your downward dog, lift your eyes forward. We're going to jump in but sit onto our bum. And bring the legs up. A little bit of extra core work on this flow. So we're going to lift up the legs. Hold on to them if you need to. Then test to see if you can reach either side. Have a go at extending one leg and just switching. Maybe have a go at extending both legs into full boat. We want to stay here for 5 breaths. Nice slow breaths. Bend the legs, place the feet down, take your bum towards your heels and then lie down into a supine position. We'll have heels about a foot away from your bum, tuck it under so we've got no gap under the lower back. We're going to press through the heels, lift the hips, pull the heels back towards you without them actually moving. You'll feel the hamstrings and the glutes engage. Really great way to improve your hip extension, strengthen the back of the body, especially if you're going to spend lots of time being stuck sat down today. Or perhaps you already have. Gently lower down, draw the legs in. We're going to have a little challenge to roll to the top of the mat. So to start with, and you can use your hands for this, rock up to the shoulders. We're going to roll forwards, lift the hips, take a breath, fold on your exhale. Soften the legs, curl up. We're going again, reaching tall and fold back down. Ready for crow, place the hands down, collect the legs, find your balance. Pull the feet up as high as you can, keep pressing. When you're ready, take a breath in and jump back. And back to downward dog. Breathing into your downward dog. When you're ready to, lift the eyes, step or jump forwards, sitting onto your bum, lifting the legs up, testing where you can go in your boat pose, trying to lift the chest up more and more and more, working the hip flexors, the core, the thighs. You'll feel this in your quadriceps a lot. Bend the legs if you need to, a couple more breaths. And lower the legs, shuffle the bum forwards, bringing yourself down, tucking your bum under, lifting the hips, and then rather than hanging out here, we're pulling those heels in. Should feel a lot of engagement in the glutes and the hamstrings. Turn up the tension while you're here. You can start to just ease it in. And then with each round of breath, try to pull those heels in harder. Gently lower down, hug the knees in. We're going for that rock and roll. So up to the shoulders, roll forwards, reach ahead, lift the hips. Take a breath in and fold. Curl up once more through, reaching tall. And back down. We're going for crow. Lift the eyes, collect the legs, find your balance. Getting ready to jump or step, take a breath. And jump. Back to downward dog. From your downward dog, lift your eyes, jump in, sit onto your bum. Lift the legs, either bent, one extended, or both. Keep sitting up taller and taller. And then bend the legs, take your bum forwards, back into our shoulder bridge. Tuck your bum under, lift the hips, pull your heels in. If you'd like to stay here for a good 5 breaths, or if you can press into wheel, if you're comfortable with wheel pose. Bear in mind, we've not warmed up the mid upper back all that much, so just be mindful. Stay here if this is plenty for you. If you're going into wheel, hands either side of the ears, spread the fingers, press through the legs and the arms, and take the head through the shoulders, making sure we're actively pressing through the legs and also trying to draw the lower ribs down. Come out whenever you're ready to. Hug your knees in. Have a little rock side to side. You can go for a gentle twist. And just allow yourself to rest into the mat. Any other stretches you feel your body needs, perhaps happy baby, or going into plow pose, taking the legs overhead. Just give yourself a few minutes of relaxation, slowing the breath down, letting the body sink into the ground. And aim to get your breath to the point that you can barely hear it.